What if true happiness isn't about gaining more, but about gently letting go? As we grow older, life may slow down, but the invisible burdens we carry often don't. These weights live not in our bodies but in our thoughts, habits, and old expectations. They are made of outdated beliefs, routines, and emotional baggage that no longer serve who we are becoming. In this video, we'll explore 12 important things to release between the ages of 70 and 85, not as a sign of giving up, but as an invitation to create space for joy, for peace, and for a lighter, freer way of living. These lessons aren't just emotional, they are practical, drawn from the lived experiences of countless people who have reflected on what they wish they had let go of sooner. If you feel a weight you can't quite name, you might just find your answer here. Even letting go of one old pattern could open the door to a richer, more spacious life than you ever thought possible. Let's take that first step together. Number 1. Letting go of the fear of slowing down. There is a quiet fear that sometimes creeps in as the pace of life begins to slow, a whisper that says, if I'm slowing down, maybe I'm falling behind. If I'm moving more slowly, maybe I'm losing my value. But here is a deeper truth: slowing down is not falling behind. It's arriving. For so many years, life demanded that you hurry, raising families, building careers, meeting deadlines, carrying responsibilities day after day. You ran because you had to. You moved quickly because there were others depending on you. But now you are offered a sacred invitation to move differently. Not rushed, not hurried, but with intention, with presence, with grace. Slowing down doesn't mean you're giving up. It means you're finally giving in to the deeper rhythms of your own heart, your own body, your own life. It means noticing the way the light changes in the afternoon sky. It means sitting long enough to hear the sound of birds you used to rush past. It means having the time to say, I love you, slowly, and to mean every syllable. Life at a slower pace isn't less alive. It's more alive. Because when you stop rushing, you start truly seeing. You start truly feeling. You start truly living. Letting go of the fear of slowing down is one of the greatest gifts you can offer yourself. Because life was never meant to be a race to the finish line. It was meant to be a walk where you could stop, look around, take in the beauty, and know that simply being here is more than enough. Number 2. Letting go of clutter in your home and your mind. Over the decades, we naturally gather things. Objects, papers, photographs, old appliances, clothes we no longer wear, books we meant to read but never did. And alongside these, we accumulate thoughts, worries, regrets, and memories that haven't been fully sorted through. Before we even realize it, our homes and our minds can become crowded. Some of what fills them is precious, beautiful, worth keeping. But if we are honest with ourselves, much of it simply takes up space. Maybe it's the drawer full of tangled cords no one can identify. Maybe it's the closet you haven't opened in a year. Maybe it's the growing stack of unopened mail on the kitchen table. And deeper still, maybe it's the unspoken anxieties, the old conversations replaying in your mind, the endless to-do lists you no longer have the energy to chase. At this stage in life, clutter becomes more than a mild inconvenience. It becomes emotional noise. It quietly drains your energy, weighs on your spirit, and crowds out the calm you deserve. Letting go of clutter doesn't mean sweeping everything away. It means choosing lovingly and intentionally what still matters. It means creating a home where you feel peace when you walk in, not stress. It means opening a drawer and knowing exactly what is inside. It means freeing up mental space so you can focus more on what brings you joy and less on what pulls at your attention. And here's something gently surprising. When you begin to clear the physical clutter, your mind often follows. Creating space around you creates space within you. Because happiness doesn't require a crowded room. It simply needs room for peace, room for breath, room for living. If these reflections are touching something inside you, I would love for you to share your thoughts. Please comment number 2 below, letting me know you're here, walking this path of lightening your life with grace. And if you haven't yet, please consider subscribing and turning on notifications. Your support helps us continue creating content designed to nurture your heart and your journey. Thank you for being here. Your presence is a gift. Number 3. Letting go of the urge to control everything. There's something deep within all of us that longs for life to follow a plan, to know what's coming next, to keep things neat and orderly, to feel as if we are firmly at the wheel. And for much of our lives, that need for control has served us well. It helped us raise families, build careers, manage chaos, and survive hardship with strength and resolve. But as the seasons shift and life begins to slow, that same need for control can slowly begin to work against us. You may notice it: the irritation when plans change at the last minute, the anxiety when someone you love chooses a different path than you would have chosen, the frustration when your own body refuses to obey the willpower that once carried you through anything. Beneath all of it is often a silent, aching thought: I need things to go my way. But here is the deeper truth: control is largely an illusion, and clinging too tightly to it can quietly steal the very thing you are trying so hard to protect: your peace. Letting go of the need to control doesn't mean giving up. It means loosening your grip. It means trusting a little more, allowing life to unfold on its own timeline, even when it doesn't look exactly as you had imagined. It means choosing calm over rigidity, curiosity over judgment, acceptance over resistance. You will find that when you stop trying to control every outcome, life softens. Your relationships ease, because you are no longer carrying the exhausting task of managing other people's choices. Your days lighten because you are no longer battling the unpredictable. And perhaps most beautifully of all, your heart feels safer, not because the world changed but because you did. You no longer brace for every possible wrong turn. Instead, you say gently to yourself, I cannot control everything, but I can choose how I respond. And in that choice, you reclaim something infinitely more precious than control. You reclaim your peace. Number 4. Letting go of guilt over past mistakes. As we grow older, a certain kind of heaviness can quietly settle in, not in our bodies but in our hearts. It is the weight of old guilt, tucked away in the corners of memory. The moments we wish we had handled differently, the words we wish we could take back, the opportunities we let slip by, the ways we may have unintentionally caused hurt. Time softens many things, but guilt often clings longer than most. Sometimes it whispers to us in the quiet hours of the night. Sometimes it rises up in the middle of a conversation, tugging at us with an old question: why did I do that? Or, what if I had chosen differently? But here's a truth that we aren't told often enough. Guilt is meant to teach us, not to punish us. Once the lesson has been learned, once you have acknowledged your part, made amends where you could, and offered peace where possible, it is not only permissible to let it go, it is necessary. Holding on to guilt indefinitely does not honor the people you may have hurt. It does not rewrite the past. It simply traps you inside a moment that no longer defines you. And perhaps most importantly, it prevents you from fully living the life that is still unfolding right before you. It steals your laughter. It dulls your joy. It places unnecessary conditions on your ability to love and be loved. Forgiveness is not just a gift we offer to others. Sometimes the most courageous and compassionate act is the one we offer ourselves, whispering to our own hearts, yes, I have made mistakes. And still I am worthy of peace. These precious years, between 70 and 85, are not meant to be haunted. They are meant to be healed. And when you begin to release that old lingering guilt, something beautiful happens. You stop bracing for judgment. You stop replaying the past like a film you cannot change. You start living lighter, freer, more openly. Joy finds its way back to you more easily. Your shoulders relax. Your presence becomes a safe place for yourself and for others. Not because you have become perfect, but because you have become fully, tenderly present. Letting go of guilt does not mean forgetting. It means forgiving. And it means finally granting yourself the freedom that regret was never meant to hold hostage. If this reflection on forgiveness and freedom speaks to you, I would be honored to know you're here. Please comment number 4 below, just a small way to say, I'm walking this path too. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I warmly invite you to join our growing community. By subscribing and turning on notifications, you'll never miss an opportunity to keep learning, healing, and living with more lightness and grace. Your presence here matters more than you know. Thank you for being part of this journey. Number 5. Letting go of the need to stay busy all the time. At some point along our journey, many of us absorbed a powerful, and often painful, message that our worth was measured by our productivity. That if we weren't doing something, accomplishing something, fixing something, we were somehow falling short. It's a lesson planted early, reinforced over the years, and it can be remarkably hard to unlearn. Even now, in our 70s or 80s, we might catch ourselves feeling a strange pang of guilt for slowing down, for resting, for sitting quietly in the garden without an agenda, for taking an afternoon nap simply because it feels good. Somewhere deep inside, there may still be a whisper that says, you should be doing more. But here's a tender truth: slowing down is not a sign of weakness, it is a sign of wisdom. It is the grace of recognizing that constant motion is not the same as living fully. When we rush from task to task, we miss the sacred spaces in between. The stillness where clarity arises, the peace that settles in when we stop judging the value of our days by how much we accomplished. Letting go of the need to stay busy doesn't mean you no longer care. It means you begin to care more consciously. You choose what truly matters. You say no to the noise, No to the draining obligations. No to the old version of yourself that mistook motion for meaning. And in that space, something deeply beautiful returns. Your peace, your patience, your ability to truly savor the moments that are given to you. You might find joy simply by sitting near a window, watching the light shift across the room, or by feeling the warmth of a cup of tea in your hands. You no longer have to earn your rest. You are enough just as you are. Letting go of busyness is not about giving up. It's about waking up. Waking up to a season of life that invites slowness, depth, and the kind of presence that makes everything more vibrant and real. Number 6. Letting go of outdated expectations for yourself. Throughout much of our lives, we chase an image, a vision of who we think we should be, what we believe we should have accomplished, and how we ought to appear while doing it. These expectations often took root decades ago in a different world, during a different season of who we were. But here's the gentle truth. Many of those expectations no longer fit us. Holding on to them now is like trying to squeeze into clothes that once served us well but have since become too tight, too restricting, not just physically but mentally, emotionally, and even spiritually. You might still carry the pressure to be unshakably strong, to handle everything without asking for help. You might feel frustration when your body no longer moves as effortlessly as it once did, or when your energy ebbs more quickly than it used to. And quietly beneath it all, there might be a whisper of disappointment saying, "I should be better than this." But here's something worth pausing to consider. Better according to whom? Expecting yourself to move through life now with the same strength, stamina, or sharpness you had in your 40s or 50s doesn't affirm your worth. It diminishes your peace. It blinds you to the extraordinary beauty that still lives within you, the wisdom, the resilience, the grace that only years of living could cultivate. Letting go of outdated expectations isn't giving up your dignity. It's reclaiming it. Because when you stop measuring yourself against a past version of who you once were, you create space for something infinitely more powerful. The deep and abiding acceptance of who you are now. You allow your body to slow without shame. You let your mind rest without fear. You stop chasing perfection and begin practicing presence. Real, grounded, life-giving presence. And the surprising, beautiful truth is this. When you release those old, invisible standards, you often discover that the people who love you were never asking you to be perfect. They only ever wanted you to be you, gentle, wise, authentic, and real. So, if you find yourself feeling like you're not measuring up to an invisible checklist of who you think you should still be, maybe it's time to lovingly tear that list up. Because the version of you standing here today is not behind. They are not broken. They are simply becoming more real, more whole, and more profoundly human than ever before. If these reflections are resonating with you, I would love to hear from you. Please feel free to comment number 6 below. It's a simple way to let me know you're here listening and growing right alongside us. And if you haven't already, I warmly invite you to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications, so you won't miss the next gentle step on this beautiful journey. Your presence and support help us continue creating heartfelt, meaningful content to inform, uplift, and inspire. Thank you for being here. Now, when you're ready, let's move forward together. Number 7. Letting go of relationships that drain your spirit. There comes a point in life when we begin to understand, not every relationship is meant to last forever. Some are seasonal. Some are situational. And some, if we are truly honest with ourselves, have been quietly taking more than they give for years. Yet we often hold on. Out of habit, out of guilt, out of a lingering fear that stepping away would somehow make us selfish or unkind. Especially as we grow older, there can be an even heavier pressure to keep the peace, to avoid rocking the boat. But true peace never comes at the cost of our own emotional well-being. That kind of peace is only an illusion. If there are people in your life, friends, family members, neighbors, who leave you feeling small, drained, or uneasy, it may be time to ask a tender but powerful question. Why am I still allowing this energy into my world? You have likely spent a lifetime practicing kindness, generosity, and patience. And these are beautiful qualities. But they were never meant to cost you your peace. Letting go of relationships that drain you doesn't mean dramatic exits or harsh goodbyes. Sometimes it's simply a quiet shift. Spending less time, setting firmer boundaries, opening more space for those who nourish your spirit instead of depleting it. When you create that space, you invite in conversations that energize rather than exhaust, relationships that reflect your true self back to you, not a smaller version of who you are. This is not about surrounding yourself only with people who agree with you. It's about choosing to be surrounded by those who respect you. At this stage of life, your energy is sacred. Your time is precious. You do not need to spend it trying to prove your worth to those unwilling to see it. Letting go of draining relationships isn't selfish. It's an act of deep self-respect. And it might just be the key to reclaiming a happiness you hadn't even realized you were missing. Number 8. Letting go of the habit of denying your emotional needs. Many of us grew up absorbing a quiet but powerful message. Don't be too needy. Be strong. Be independent. Don't trouble others with your feelings. Don't ask for too much. And in many ways that message helped us survive. It taught resilience. It shaped self-reliance. But somewhere along the way it may also have taught us to silence parts of ourselves that needed to be heard, to bury needs that were never wrong in the first place. Here is a truth worth holding close. One of the kindest, most courageous things you can do for yourself now is to honor your emotional needs, not deny them. Needing connection does not make you weak. It makes you profoundly, beautifully human. When you finally allow yourself to say, I miss companionship, or, I wish someone would simply listen, or, I don't want to spend so much time alone anymore, you are not giving in. You are standing up for the truth of who you are and what your heart still longs for. You would be surprised how many people around you are simply waiting for permission to lean in, to offer their presence, their care, their laughter. Because you are not done needing. And you are certainly not done deserving. At this stage of life, asking for connection, for warmth, for shared moments is not a burden. It is a birthright. Your emotions are not inconveniences to be hidden away. They are invitations to deeper relationships, to richer conversations, to a fuller, more connected life. You are still wonderfully, gloriously human. And honoring your emotional needs is not weakness. It is wisdom. If these reflections speak to your heart, I invite you to share a simple sign of connection by commenting number 8 below. It lets me know you're here, walking this journey with courage and gentleness. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I warmly encourage you to do so and turn on notifications, so you won't miss future videos crafted to inspire, uplift, and walk beside you. Thank you for being here. Your presence is a light. Number 9. Letting go of fear about what others think. For much of our lives we carry an invisible burden. The need to be liked, accepted, approved of. We wonder how others might judge us, how we might be misunderstood. And often without even realizing it, we adjust, softening our voice when we want to speak boldly, holding back our laughter to avoid drawing attention, saying yes when we long to say no. But by the time you have weathered the seasons of life, reached 70, 80, or beyond, you have earned the right to lay that burden down. You have survived heartbreaks, raised families, sacrificed for others, endured losses, rebuilt yourself after disappointments. You no longer owe the world a polished performance. You owe yourself the dignity of authenticity. Letting go of the fear of what others think doesn't mean becoming reckless or indifferent. It means becoming real. It means speaking with your full voice even if it shakes. It means wearing what makes you feel alive, not what makes others comfortable. It means making choices that align with your heart and your truth, even when they don't fit neatly into someone else's expectations. The people who truly love you, they don't need you to shrink, to edit yourself, to perform. They love you when you are fully, vibrantly yourself. And those who judge you harshly, who gossip or misunderstand, their opinions are not your responsibility to carry. Ask yourself, what would I do differently if I stopped worrying about what others might think? You may find an answer that surprises you, even frees you. Because peace doesn't come from winning approval. It comes from living in alignment. When your inner life matches your outer choices, everything becomes lighter, more honest, more joyful. At this stage of life, you do not need permission to be who you are. You only need the courage to stop apologizing for it. Number 10. Letting go of the belief that it's too late for new joy. As the years stretch onward, a quiet thought can begin to settle in. Maybe the best parts of life have already passed. But that thought, however tempting, is simply not true. Joy doesn't belong only to the young. It belongs to anyone who chooses to stay open, to remain curious, to reach gently for something new, even if it's small. Maybe it's trying a new recipe you've never made before. Maybe it's joining a book club, volunteering at a local shelter, traveling to a place that stirred your imagination for years, even if it's just the next town over. Maybe it's finally writing that story you've carried in your heart for decades. Or maybe it's as simple as sitting with your morning coffee, not just noticing the sunrise, but truly allowing yourself to watch it unfold, moment by golden moment. When you allow yourself even the smallest taste of newness, you may find something quietly wonderful. Life still has treasures to offer you. New laughter, new purpose, new friendships, even new love, not only the romantic kind, but love in the form of presence, wonder, kindness, and self-compassion. The clock has not run out on you. And joy is not some distant prize you have missed. It is still here, waiting softly in this very moment, hoping you will reach out and claim it. If these words resonate with you, I invite you to leave a comment below. Simply write, number 10. It's a way to honor your journey and let me know you are walking this beautiful path of growth and rediscovery. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I warmly encourage you to do so and turn on notifications, so we can continue walking together through the quiet, meaningful seasons ahead. Thank you for being here. Your journey matters. Number 11. Letting go of comparing yourself to who you used to be. There's a tenderness we often overlook when we measure ourselves against our younger selves. It's easy to forget that the person you used to be, that vibrant, energetic version of yourself, didn't know the things you know now. They hadn't walked through the heartbreaks, the triumphs, the silent battles that shaped the soul you carry today. Letting go of comparison doesn't mean forgetting who you were. It means releasing the pressure to constantly live up to a version of yourself that belonged to another season of life. It means honoring the changes, not mourning them. It means recognizing that slowing down is not a failure, but a wisdom. That the lines on your hands, the gentler pace of your days, the deeper patience in your voice, these are not losses. They are gains of a different kind. You stop asking yourself, why can't I do what I used to? And instead, you gently begin to ask, what can I do now that brings me joy, peace, or meaning? And more often than not, that simple shift in perspective is where the most beautiful kind of peace begins to bloom. Not from chasing what was, but from embracing what is. Number 12. Letting go of the habit of saying, I'm fine, when you're not. There's a phrase many of us have carried for years. A phrase we offer automatically, sometimes out of habit, sometimes out of fear. I'm fine. We say it quickly even when it isn't true. Even when the weight inside us feels heavy. Even when what we really need is someone to simply see us. But every time we say, I'm fine, when we're not, we quietly shut the door on connection. We tell others, and ourselves, that we don't need anything when deep down we might be aching for a listening ear, a warm presence, a moment of understanding. Letting go of that reflex doesn't mean pouring your heart out to everyone you meet. It means giving yourself permission to be real with the people who have earned your trust, who have shown they are willing to sit with you in the unpolished places. It means allowing yourself to say, I've had a hard day, or I could really use a little company, or even simply, I'm not sure what I'm feeling, but I know it's something. That honesty doesn't make you weak, it makes you brave. It builds the kind of relationships where care and kindness can flow both ways. So the next time someone asks you, how are you? Pause. Take a breath. And if you're not fine, consider saying something just a little more true. You never know, your honesty might not only lighten your own heart. It might give someone else the courage to lay down their burden too. Final thoughts. As we move through these later chapters of life, it's easy to believe that letting go means losing something. But the truth is, letting go often means gaining something far more precious. Freedom. Freedom to live lighter. Freedom to love more openly. Freedom to be more fully, beautifully yourself. Each thing we release, old expectations, old burdens, old fears, makes room for something better. Peace, presence, deeper joy. You are not meant to carry everything you once did. You are meant to walk more freely now, with your hands and heart open to what is still ahead. No matter where you are on your journey today, remember, it is never too late to choose lighter. It is never too late to choose joy. You are not behind. You are right on time. And this life, your life, still holds beautiful things waiting to be discovered. If this video touched your heart today, I would be so honored if you leave a comment below. Let me know which number spoke to you most, or simply share, I'm choosing to live lighter. I read every comment and your words mean more than you know. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I warmly invite you to do so. Click subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you'll never miss a gentle reminder to live more freely, more deeply, and more at peace. Thank you for being here. Thank you for choosing to walk this journey with me. Until next time, take gentle care of yourself. You are deeply worthy of the life you're creating.